everybody, what is up? And welcome back to my channel, Fixing It Up with Sandra. In case you're new here, I'm Sandra, and today we are going to do the flower, the rainbow flower wreath. If you saw my Easter bunny or my Easter flower, I talked about doing this one and I am so excited. I have not done one like this, so I don't know how it's gonna turn out. I haven't even figured out the centerpiece yet, but I am ready to rock this. So today we are going to be using, I have my little mat here. I've already cut all of my pieces to just save time. I've already prepped my board to save time, but I'm also gonna go over everything that I did because we've got a lot of zip ties. But let me just show you some of the stuff that I used, again, for all of the beginners, because there's so many beginners. Congratulations for starting your first wreath. There's so many beginners that are watching this channel, and I want to show you some of the stuff that I use just to kind of help you out, just in case you just don't know. So this is one of the roller cutters that I use to cut my mesh. It's from the Dollar Tree. They work incredible and they last a long time. So if you are wondering, should I buy the $25 pair? Don't worry, you don't have to. You can go to the dollar store and grab you one of these and it's perfect. And today we are going to be using this board. Now, I do understand that some of the Dollar Trees haven't been restocking these boards. This is, just let me see what it is. In case they do have it online, I'm not sure. But this is similar to the wreath boards that Unique in the Creek create. The whole placement is very different. Let me just put that out there. It is very, very different. I've had to play around with these boards to kind of figure out how to make things work. But Unique in the Creek is incredible. If you can get your hands on one of those boards, and I think they're gonna be in Hobby Lobby coming soon. I don't know. I just saw that in the comment from my previous tutorial. But like I said, I played around with these boards. And I bought these like a year ago. This is the large board. There is a smaller size, but we're gonna be working with the large board today. And what you do is you can either get zip ties or pipe cleaners. The zip ties work a lot easier on this. And again, you can buy them at the Dollar Tree. That's where I bought mine. And we're gonna talk about where you're gonna place your zip ties on the board. As you can see, I've got a ton of zip ties. I've already prepped my board. Now, when I first started making a wreath on these boards, I did not prep my board like this. I did one zip tie at a time because I just didn't know where I was gonna place the next piece of mesh at or whatnot. So now that I'm kind of getting familiar, I can go ahead and prep ahead. If it's easier for you to do one by one, feel free to do so. There is absolutely nothing wrong with doing that. That's how I started doing mine. And sometimes I find it easier. So what we're gonna do is we are going to prep the board on the outside. Now you can see the hole placement. See how I have one in every two holes, like so? We're gonna go around and do that. And there are 18 of them. And let me just show you the colors that I chose because we are doing the rainbow. So we're gonna have 6 rows of zip ties. I've got my red, I've got my orange, I've got yellow, I've got green, I've got blue, and of course, purple. So we're gonna be using all of these colors. I cannot wait to see how this flower is going to come out. So for my first row, let me just move this all back. So for my first row, I did red. That's the color that I chose. And then the next row, see how we still did one right here, one right here. We're not connecting right here. So we went every two, every two, every two. We went all the way around, and let me just double check how many I have. 12. So the first row is 18. The second row is 12. And when you put your zip ties on, you don't want to clip them all or click them all the way down. You want to have like a decent amount of space so you can put your mesh in here. And then we head to the next row. So I'm going to have my red, my orange, and then we're going to do the next row, which is my yellow. And that, again, we're going to have 18. Now see how we put a zip tie in every single hole? So I know you can really tell on this side, but on this side you can see. So we went into every single hole, and again, 18. So it's 18, 12, 18, and that's what we're gonna do for the first 3 rows. And then got a little bit of my cocoa beans here on here, gonna blow off. So we're gonna go ahead and start. I'm gonna point the camera down and show you how I'm gonna make the petal. We're gonna place it in here. Now again, these holes, as we work our way down the wreath frame right here, the distance between the 2 holes gets a lot larger. So sometimes you'll find that your mesh is slipping out of your zip tie. We'll get to that later too, but you can use a little bit of hot glue to keep it in place in case you're really worried about it just falling apart. I'll explain that as we get further down, but let's go ahead and start our first row and get our petals on this thing. So let me explain the mesh that I use. So I've used 2 different styles of mesh. I have the one that is the solid color, and this is like the plasticky kind. And then I have the orange and the purple that have the little shiny thread through it. No matter what you're using, it's totally okay. Use whatever you want to use. And if you don't want to use these colors, don't use these colors. If you want to make, use 6 different types or whatnot, you make this flower how you want to make it. We're just making a rainbow today. But just make sure when you are cutting your mesh, because you want to get a square. Some of the mesh can be 10 inches, and that's what I have right here. This is a 10 yards by 10 inches. And so I cut it at 10 inches to make a square. However, some of them can be 10.5. Not that that makes a huge difference, but if you're really trying to make a perfect square, you're gonna wanna know that this is if your mesh is 10 inches or 10.5. So always look at the dimensions. So now that we have our piece of mesh here, we're gonna put it curl side up, which means this side. And you're gonna try to kind of sort of flatten it out just a bit. Mesh has a mind of its own, so don't worry if it's a little hard to work with. All right, so what we're gonna do is take one corner and bring it to the center of the mesh. And then you're gonna take the other corner and bring it to the center. It's okay if the 2 are slightly, the little tips are slightly overlapping, no problem. And what you're gonna do, let me just kind of move this out of the way. You're gonna take your finger right here and just start squishing, the center, just start collecting it to where you have something similar to a bow tie, okay? If it's not completely identical on both sides, it is totally okay. It'll work, I promise. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this and then we're gonna gradually pull it to the center, but slightly overlap it. Don't just bring it together like this. Kind of twist it and slightly overlap it. And each petal is gonna be completely different. All right, so this is what you got. Kind of hard to tell because the mesh is a little thin, see-through-ish. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that, pinch the bottom like so, and just pick your first zip tie. All right. All right, so I'm gonna get that in there. All right, there we go. I've got it pretty good in there. Now, as you can see, this will kind of move around just a little bit, no worries. And I couldn't find my little plier clipper, so I have my handy dandy scissors and clipped it off, and then we've got our first petal. You can also wait to clip your zip ties, that little end piece off after you've done them all, or you can do them as you go, however you feel comfortable working. All right, and then go like so, pinch together in the center, and then slightly overlap, like so, pinch it, and then we're gonna stick it into another zip tie. Does this make sense so far, you guys? I hope so. And I know trying to do this one-handed can, there we go. All right, got it good and tight. And then I'm gonna clip, all right? Now I won't make you watch me do all of them, but I'm just showing you guys just for to the new people who have never done this before. And again, welcome to wreath making. Now, you may find like mine right here is starting to kind of fray. No worries. If you feel like taking care of it right now, go ahead, but we will at the very end. I like to wait to the very end to kind of like give it like a little manicure and go over all of the pieces that have frayed a little bit. It's going to happen if you're new to wreath making. It doesn't matter what kind of mesh you have, you at some point will always deal with fraying. So don't think that it's something that you did or whatnot. It's just the name of the game. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this right here. Oops, I forgot to connect this one here. Oh, I see, I forgot to connect these. I had some that were still open, so let me just close them real fast. All right, so let me show you what we have right now. So this is how it looks. I love it. I'm so excited. I can't wait to get all 18 on and then come back and show you what it looks like. So right now, again, we're only working on our outside row. We have 18. Pick a color, pick a mesh, and just cut it into a square and then start folding and placing it onto your mat. So I'll be back in just 15 more 15 more petals. I'll be right back. Okay, so now I have all of the red petals on, and I don't know, I'm just getting so excited about how this is gonna turn out. This is gonna be so cute. So now we're gonna start with our orange. Okay, and like I said, this is a little different. This one has the orange shiny thread going through it. So again, we're just going to do the same process and pinch it in the center. It started to come out a little crooked. All right, fold it up like so. And then now we're gonna place it in our zip tie. Kind of fold it down. I like to semi-adjust them when I am putting them into the zip tie, like so. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and clip. How does that look? It's gonna be so pretty. I cannot wait to see how this wreath is going to turn out. And remember, we have 12 of our next color. So whatever color you're choosing to use, there's 12 on the next row. Okay, let's pinch this together. And this mesh is a little thick and a little harder to handle, which makes me super happy because it's like gonna hang into this zip tie a lot better. You know, 'cause some of the thinner mesh might slip right out, but this is kind of like a pretty durable, thick mesh. All right. And again, we're gonna go all the way around like so. And so far, having the board prepped with all of my zip ties hasn't really like bothered me too much. So again, if you're someone who's just starting out and you don't want to have all the zip ties on there, you know, don't worry, you don't have to. Do them one at a time and just take your time and have fun. Let's see, there it goes. All right, and again, I will be back when I have all of the orange completed. We'll see how that looks. This is what I've got so far. Super adorable, right? And again, I'm still thinking about what the centerpiece is gonna be because I'm not quite there yet. But let me finish this up. All right, so now we have the second row done. What do you guys think so far? I love it. Super, super pretty. So now we are going into our third row, which is, I'm doing yellow. And the yellow one is a little bit thinner, the mesh is. And again, we're just gonna keep making our petals and going through this. And the third row has 18. And remember, we put one in every single hole, a pipe, or not a pipe cleaner, a zip tie in every single hole. So we have 18, and then the next 3 rows are not gonna have as many. I think like the most they have is 8. So this is, the first 3 rows are probably the most tedious because they have them, you know, 18, 12, 18. And then after that, I love how that's curling. So like I said, mesh has a mind of its own. So don't worry if your petals are not identical. Some of them are fraying. It's all part of the process. Oh my gosh, this is looking so pretty. And it'll all work out in the end, I promise. So let me go ahead and finish up the last of the longer rows, and then we will chat some more when we do the smaller rows, and then we will decide on what our centerpiece is gonna be. Again, still racking my brain, but I've only got, you know, 4 more rows before I have to decide. So I'll see you in just a second. All right, we've got the yellow row on. What do you think? This is such a beautiful wreath so far. I love it. I love that the orange does have a little bit of a shimmer, so it does have a little bit of a sparkle. So does the yellow, and it's actually like a clear shimmer that goes through there. So now, okay, so now I didn't talk about the last 3 rows. So now we're gonna do the last 3 rows. And the next row that we're going to do, like I said, the whole spacing is gonna start getting wider. So now we're gonna do this row right here. So we've done this one, that one, and this one. So now we're gonna go right here. And as you can see, we just went every 2. So one right here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we went every other hole. So we have 6 of those, and we're gonna do the green. And this doesn't have any of that pretty shimmer to it. So this will kind of, you know, help balance everything else. So it's not a super shiny wreath. It's just hints of it. So there we go. We're gonna fold our petals like so. And like the first time I ever did this wreath, my hands started to cramp up a little bit from doing so many zip ties. That could happen. Let me pull this down so you guys can see. All right, there we go. So you can see what I'm doing while I'm talking. And here's where I did say that you might find that some of your mesh may be popping out of the zip tie because of the hole spacing. So I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. Let me just get one more in here, and then I will show you right now. Okay, let's spread that apart a little bit. Now, if you want, you can go ahead and do every hole. If you think that you want more of that color, definitely put a zip tie in every hole, but I just want to do every other hole. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna show you. So this is definitely wider than how it has been for the previous colors. And if you find that it's loosened and you're not really sure that this is gonna hold, go ahead and put a dot of hot glue right here, and that'll keep it in place. So you won't have to worry about it falling out. Sometimes if you're using like a really thin mesh, like I've done that before, I've made a couple of wreaths where I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm afraid that that's just gonna pop right out of the zip tie. So I put a little bit of the hot glue. Also, once you get the layers of mesh on here, you will find, again, if you're new to this, that mesh will grab onto one another. So even though it might feel loose, it'll have this backing to hold it in place, and also what we're gonna put in front of it too. So the likelihood of it actually popping out, I would say not a good chance, but it does happen. Let me just say it does happen. I typically experience the mesh maybe popping out of the zip ties on my first 2 rows. But once we start getting down into the center, not so much. But again, if that does happen, or if you're just worried that it will, go ahead and put that hot glue, and it won't do anything. It won't harm anything. All right, so a couple more of the green right here. And if you have any comments or questions, please feel free to do so. I will be getting back to all of those who have questions and whatnot. But this is typically, I know when you first see it and I mean, you're new to wreath making, this can look very intimidating. It was very intimidating the very first time I saw this board. I saw a flower wreath. I thought, okay, no way am I on that level of wreath making. But when I found out it was the same pattern over and over, and it was just basically like cutting it in half, you know, it really just made me feel so much better that it wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. And they come out absolutely beautiful. All right, so now we have all of our green and we've cut all of the zip ties. So we just have our 2 colors left. Let me show you what the green looks like. So this is with it being every other hole. Now, if you want more green, definitely, like I said, and I'll explain what I'm talking about again. If you want more green, you can connect a zip tie right here, and so on and so forth. But with just this is the 6 pieces of green. So now we're gonna do blue. We're gonna do our next row, and that one we did do every single hole, like so, right here. So I believe we have 8. So we're gonna put 8 of the blue. And if you're curious to why I skipped some and not the others, no reason. No reason whatsoever. I just thought, let's just see what happens. Let me just see what it looks like. And this is how I learn, you know, what I like and what I don't like. So there was no rhyme or reason to why I chose to do zip ties in every single hole as opposed to skipping. None whatsoever. So again, it's totally up to you. It's how you want it, like how full you want it and how much of what one color you want, all of those things. So just do what makes you happy. And if you want to do a bunch more green, go for it. Or whatever color you choose. Now that we are getting all of these colors on here, I'm getting so excited. We will be doing some crafting soon with Unique in the Creek. And let me just say that the word soon is gonna be, it's a loose word. I don't know how soon is soon, but I definitely wanna get my hands on one because I would love to see how making a flower on a board that is intended for flower making, how well that works out compared to like these Dollar Tree ones. And they're not that expensive. I did see like one of the boards was like $5. So I'm curious. But if any of you have tried Unique in the Creek, I am wondering, and if you're making one of these wreaths, like what you find easier or more difficult. But like I said, the Unique in the Creek, their boards are specific to like a theme. So like, I know that they have like a Christmas tree one. I believe, do not quote me on this, that they have like a horse one. I'm not sure. I glanced at their website a long time ago. And so I can't really remember too well. And another thing that I like about this wreath is that it doesn't require anything else. Like you don't need to put all the trinkets that I love to put on here. You don't need to put any ribbon because it's just beautiful the way it is, the flower the way it is. Although you could put trinkets on here, I don't think I would ever put ribbon on here. And if I did, I would have to think of a way to attach it. But yeah. This is why I think this is such a beginner-friendly wreath, is because you don't have to do all of these extra steps. Like you just got one thing to do, cut the mesh, fold the mesh, put it in the zip tie. And this is, I don't know if you can tell, but it's just coming out. Oh my God, I'm just getting more and more excited about this. I freaking love this wreath. And like I said, we're gonna go through and give it like a nice little trim with all of the frayed pieces. I don't have too many on here, but I do want to go over it once it's complete and make sure I get all of those ends off. All right, so we're just getting our last piece of the blue on here. Cut these off. All right, now we're getting to the center. How beautiful is this? Oh my gosh, I love the colors that I'm putting on here. And again, you can choose any color you want. So the green and the blue did not have like that little ribbon through there. So I'm doing the purple with a little bit of ribbon. And again, there was no rhyme or reason for that. It's just what I happened to have on hand. So I didn't select these because it had the shiny or it didn't. It's just what I had. And then, like I said, after this, we are going to do the centerpiece. And I am still racking my brain because I'm like, oh my gosh, we could do so many different things. But I'm like, what is really going to be a wow factor for this wreath? And truth be told, I'm probably going to make multiples of this style wreath. Like, should we put, oh my gosh, I just had an idea. Okay, this is an idea. In case we don't do it, I want to kind of put a little seed in your head. I was thinking we would do a cloud-like centerpiece. And right now it happens to be before Easter. It's actually Valentine's Day today. It happens to be before Easter. And so you know how they have those bunny tails, well, they're big, like round cotton balls, but they're like bunny tails at the Dollar Tree. I believe I have a pack. Oh my goodness. It's all like, I'm telling you, the inspiration strikes. And this is why I don't always like to plan, because I just never know what we're gonna do. That's where my head is at right now. I wanna do a cloud-like centerpiece. And I have a couple of ideas of how we're gonna do it. So I'm gonna finish this up. I'm gonna head on into the office and grab those bunny tails and this plastic mesh that we'll be using. And we're gonna get on this. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay, so now here is the purple. All right. Oh, I'm glad that we did the purple with the shimmer because it just makes everything just pop. I'll show you here in just a second. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and cut all of my little ends or my little zip ties, and I cut. And this is a very full wreath. I love it. All right. Let me back the camera up so you can see it in its entirety. Oh, it's just so pretty. All right, you guys, here is the wreath. It's stunning. I love how it looks. Look at all the colors. I love it. And again, you can choose different colors. Maybe I might have gone with doing the double for the wreath, or I'm sorry, for the green color, but I'm not hating on it. I love it the way it is. Oh, and this is what the back looks like. If you want to take a screenshot of this so you can count. So remember, it's 18, 12, 18, then 8, wait, I'm sorry, 6, then 8, then 6. That is the number. All right, let me go get the centerpiece. All right, so I've got the stuff. And so here's what I want to show you. So I bought this mesh. I will find a link for it and then put it in the description box so you can find your own. So this was like a big piece of mesh. And here, let me just give you a close up. See how it's got the little holes in there? So this is what I use to do the centerpiece. And a lot of people use it. That's how I found out about this. So what I did is I went into my kitchen and grabbed a bowl, and then I'm gonna show you exactly what I did. So then I was like, okay, would this be a nice size for the centerpiece? So, okay, perfect. So then I took a permanent marker and then I placed my bowl on here and then drew around it and then cut it out, and then that's what we have right here. So we have this piece right here. Now, you can do this two different ways. Let me grab some zip ties. You can either, I'm gonna turn my hot glue gun on right now. You can either glue the cotton balls to this right now and then place it on, or you can place this on and then glue the cotton balls, and I say cotton balls, They're pom-poms. This is what I was talking about. These are at the Dollar Tree right now, well, at least my Dollar Tree. They also have the smaller size. So I got them both just because I needed to. So what I'm going to do is we're going to attach this to the wreath. Then we're going to place the cotton balls, pom-poms. You can use cotton balls if you want, to this. So now, how we're going to attach it. I'm going to point the camera down. Let me just grab like so. Someday we'll have an electric one where I can just hit a button and then it goes down. All right, so now this is what it's going to look like right here, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to take a zip tie, and you can also do this with a pipe cleaner. So I'm just going to put the zip tie through an end piece, or through an end hole. So this is what it looks like, okay? The top part is right here. It's not going to go through. And you can see the holes right here in the purple, and we're just going to thread this through one of them, okay? We're going to thread it through one of them like so. Here it is. We're going to bring it back up through the other hole like so. We're going to just overlap on one of them and then see how it comes back up through here. We're going to place it through here. And then right now I'm going to gently zip tie this down, okay? So this is what it looks like. So we've got that hooked in there. We're gonna do the other side the exact same way. So do it loose for right now so you can adjust it and whatnot. So then we're going to take, actually, let me go back on it. So I'm gonna cut the zip tie out. When I saw that I was doing it on the edge, it wasn't working. All right, I'm actually going to start this in this further down, not on the edge, further down, because then it makes it centered, because it wasn't making it centered. It was kind of off. So now we're gonna try this. And again, this takes practice. So don't worry if you don't get it on the first try. Look at me doing it. It does not always work out the first try. We're gonna do it again. But this is giving me time to warm up my hot glue gun. All right, so I'm just gonna kind of poke it through here. Much better, okay. All right, there we go. Again, doing it somewhat loose. And then we're gonna do it with our other zip tie. All right, let's just thread it through here again. Okay, back up through here. All right. Again, gently placing it on here for right now, kind of tightening it down just a little bit more. All right, so this is what mine looks like. I want to show you. Here's my center right there. Do you see that? So it's not on the edge, it's right there. I'm trying to make sure that I've got this in the camera. It's right there in the center. All right, we're gonna cut both ends off. It's good and snug in there. And now it's time to add our pom-poms. Now, this is what I was looking for. Oh my gosh, it looks so cute. I'm so glad that I got the smaller pack as well, because it will allow me to, doesn't that look cute? Oh my gosh. So the little ones will definitely fill in all the little gaps. So I would recommend purchasing one of these or two, and then maybe one of these. So let's see where my glue gun's at, if it's heated up. Just about. So let's see what we're gonna do. We're just gonna start gluing. All right. And that's all we're gonna do. So this is gonna be so much fun. Okay, and you can do this in a pattern, like all the way around, like very, you know, laid out and whatnot, or you can just throw it all into a bunch. All right. Huh. Okay, this is gonna be so cute. I'm curious, what would you put in the center of this? Would you do a cloud-like centerpiece like I am? Almost lost, oh, this thing is snagging my sweater left and right. Okay, let me pull up my sleeves. Okay, where did I leave off? All right, this is probably one of the easiest and funnest centers that I've done. Okay, trying to figure out which cotton ball is glued down and which one isn't. Okay, so now we're working on the center, and that's why you don't have to worry about the pipe cleaner, or not pipe cleaners, the zip ties sticking up, because these little cotton ball thingies will cover it. I'm kind of going in a little bit of a pattern. And I'll show you here in just a second. Trying to get these all in here. And again, if you end up using cotton balls, which is totally fine, that will definitely work as well. Okay, let's get this last one in. Okay, so this is what it looks like if you just get the big cotton balls or pom-poms. Look at that. Super, super cute. But now let's add in the little ones. So we're just gonna try to make this as fluffy as possible. All right. We don't want any of that netting, that mesh below to show. So I'm just trying to fill this all in. And I think it's cute to have the two different sizes on there. Oh my gosh, this is stinking adorable. I am so happy I thought of this. And I've got glue strings everywhere. I think we're about done, so let me go ahead and pull this up and show you exactly what it looks like. All right, here we go. I'm so in love. Isn't it just perfect? This is better than I could have imagined, because I really didn't have a center for this just quite yet, but I think the cloud in the center works perfectly. Who else thinks that this is just, And if not, what did you use for your centerpiece is what I'm super curious about. Okay, so now I'm gonna flip this around. Now to hang, you can put a pipe cleaner through these two holes, any holes through here to have like something to hang, or you can use a zip tie. You can put a zip tie on the back or whatnot. I'm in love. And like I said, we're gonna go through at some point. I'm just gonna trim off these little frayed edges. And some people spray like a clear coat of paint on here. Or some people actually spray hairspray. It's been a thing, I've heard about it. So feel free to preserve this beauty as you see fit. But what do you all think? I'm just so overjoyed. I don't know if I'm gonna sell this or not, because I just love it so much. I can make another one, I know, but I don't know. Something about the first one, right? But anyways, what do you all think? I cannot wait to share this with you. And if you love this, make sure that you're giving this a thumbs up. That's how I know what direction to go in when it comes to what I bring here on the channel. Make sure that you're subscribed and that you hit the notification bell because if I upload a tutorial like this, you're gonna wanna know about it. So anyways, thank you guys so much. I can't wait to see what we do next, and I hope you enjoyed it. Share it, like it, comment, all the fun stuff, and I will see you again in my next tutorial.